Our lives are constantly changing. That's a certainty. And sometimes, whether we want to admit it or not, the world has a strong influence on how we change. And when the world throws curveballs at us, we are caught in disbelief, and sometimes it affects us in a negative way. We always want to come across as being confident individuals. That is for certain. And sometimes we have to give off a confident personality in the world, whether it be personal or professional. Yet, deep down on the inside, we are the complete opposite. We are sensitive, we are caring, we are worried, we are anxious individuals. And thus creates the duality between who we are in public and who we are in our private life. This difference between the vessel and the soul, the logic and the emotion. And we are all guilty of this more times than not, that our public persona, we're so concerned about how we are portrayed to other people because we don't want to appear as this possibly weak individual, which emotion is often looked upon as being weak, a cry for help, things like that. So we hide, and it creates a deeper rift, and we get in our own way as a result, because that's not who we really are, and we want to be confident, but at the same time we know deep down that's not who we are, and we're forced to continue to play this role, and it becomes more and more difficult for us. So where's the dividing line? Where is this separation of left and right, this heart and the mind? And I often think back to the old concept of Vulcans in Star Trek being hyper-logical, being no showing of emotions. Emotions are a sign of being human, and oftentimes, we become Vulcan, even if we don't want to be. And it deepens the rift, not just with ourselves, but those that know us truly. So why do we do it? Why do we hide behind something that we're not when we are often told that it's okay to be different, that it's okay to be sensitive? And I think it comes down, once again, to the concept of control, is that if we allow ourselves to become something we're not, as opposed to who we truly are, we're not sensitive, we're not, and ergo, we are not weak. When, for fact, it becomes the complete opposite. And people have more control over us because when we're something we're not, that's when we are prone to slipping. And I think back to the Earthsea saga by Ursula Le Guin, and where people are given two names. One is their birth name, and when they hit adolescence, the other one is the true name, where their true power resides. And more times than not, people are strongly urged that should only give their true name to somebody they can trust, because with that, somebody else can have power over them. And nobody wants to be controlled. Nobody wants to feel like they aren't in control of themselves. So they continue with that rift. And we're all guilty of it, myself included. And I think back to this year, 2019, as I've talked about being so difficult for me, and it's almost a silver lining because I've had to force myself to get out of my own way and get back to basics. Not just as a content creator, but as a human being, as a professional, as a personal, with family, with friends, with those that I care about. And it's tough to admit when we hide behind something, whether it's a false wall, whether it's a visage, whether it's just telling people what they want to hear. We are all guilty of that. And I've been getting in my own way a lot. And I know my true name. It's just tough sometimes for people to admit that beyond what they want to admit. And what it comes down to is there is a way to blend our confidence and our sensitive side, our left side and our right side, to become the person that we want to be. And I can honestly say, as I've done inventory of myself and my emotions, I can come back and be the best person of both facets. And I think we all have that ability to combine who we show ourselves as and who we truly are, because both halves are truly part of what's inside of us. And it shows that we can be strong-willed and strong in confidence, but at the same time be that emotional side, be that driving force that helps others and helps yourself. And I think what I want to close upon this little interlude is I was having a conversation with somebody about how everybody in my generation has titles affixed to everything. And sometimes it's looked as an excuse to get away with something, and I don't think that's the case. Because like an Earthsea, it's a true name. It's truly there for us to grasp. And if we can give something a name or a title, it's no longer out there in the ether. It becomes tangible. And if it's truly tangible with a name, we can attain it. We can counter whatever it is that we are hiding from, that we are fighting deep down, because we can grasp it. And that's what it comes down to, is if we can just get out of our own way long enough to see what that is on the horizon and call it out for ourselves, we have that ability to become what we want and who we want as people.